What if I told you that in ancient India, there existed a secret tradition centered around 64 mysterious female entities known as the Yoginis? For centuries, tantric practitioners sought them, meditated upon them, performed rituals dedicated to them. And, according to folklore, some even claim to encounter strange experiences while pursuing their path. Tonight, we begin with the very first Yogini in that circle, a figure known as Bahurupa. But before we continue, a quick disclaimer. The information in this video comes from traditional beliefs, folklore, tantric traditions, and historical sources. It is presented for educational purposes only. We are not claiming that any supernatural events described actually occurred. Now here's where things get interesting. The name Bahurupa translates roughly as the one of many forms. And that simple name may contain the key to understanding why some practitioners considered her so important. Unlike deities associated with wealth, protection, or victory, Bahurupa was often connected with something far more mysterious: illusion, transformation, and the idea that reality itself may not be exactly what it appears to be. Some traditional interpretations suggest that Bahurupa represented the countless masks worn by both the world and the human mind. The face shown to others, the face hidden from others, and the face hidden even from ourselves. According to certain tantric traditions, practitioners who sought Bahurupa were not necessarily trying to gain material wealth. Instead, they sought insight, a deeper understanding of perception, the ability to recognize deception, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to see beyond appearances. But why would anyone dedicate themselves to such a pursuit? Ancient tantric traditions often viewed illusion as one of the greatest obstacles on the spiritual path. If reality is filtered through fear, desire, ego, and attachment, can anyone truly see things as they are? For some practitioners, Bahurupa became a symbol of confronting that question. And, according to various legends, the journey was not always pleasant. Stories surrounding Yogini traditions often describe unusual experiences during periods of intense practice. Some practitioners reported vivid dreams that became increasingly difficult to ignore. Others claimed to feel as though they were being observed, despite being completely alone. Some described moments in which familiar surroundings felt strangely altered or unreal. A few traditions even suggest that Yoginis tested the determination of practitioners by confronting them with their deepest fears, doubts, and mental distractions. Whether these experiences were psychological, spiritual, symbolic, or something else entirely remains open to interpretation. But the stories themselves have survived for centuries. And perhaps that is what makes them so fascinating. What were these practitioners actually experiencing? The presence of something beyond themselves? Or encounters with hidden parts of their own minds? Unfortunately, much of the original Yogini tradition remains shrouded in secrecy. Many teachings were transmitted privately from teacher to student. Many rituals were never publicly documented, and much of the knowledge may have been lost altogether, which leaves us with fragments, symbols, legends, and unanswered questions. Yet one thing is certain: thousands of people across generations believed these practices were worth pursuing, and the name Bahurupa survived long after most of their stories were forgotten. So who, or what, was Bahurupa really? A spiritual archetype? A forgotten tantric mystery? A symbol of transformation? or something entirely different? I'll leave that question to you. And remember, this is only the first of the 64 Yoginis. In this series, we'll uncover each one individually, exploring the legends, beliefs, mysteries, and traditions that surround them. Because the deeper we travel into the world of the Yoginis, the stranger the story becomes. And so, we arrive at the end of our journey into the mystery of Bahurupa, a Yogini whose very name suggests endless forms, endless identities, and perhaps endless possibilities. Was Bahurupa simply a symbolic representation of illusion and transformation? A forgotten spiritual archetype preserved through centuries of tantric tradition? Or was there something more behind the stories that survived long after the practitioners themselves disappeared? That question remains unanswered. And perhaps that is exactly why the Yoginis continue to fascinate us today. If you enjoyed this exploration, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think Bahurupa truly represented? And do you believe the strange experiences described in Yogini traditions were encounters with something beyond the ordinary, or reflections of the hidden depths of the human mind? I'd love to hear your perspective. And remember, this was only the first of the 64 Yoginis. 63 mysteries still remain. 63 forgotten names. 63 stories waiting to be uncovered. In the episodes ahead, we'll explore each Yogini individually, examining the legends, beliefs, symbolism, historical clues, and mysteries that surround them. Because with every Yogini we discover, another piece of an ancient puzzle begins to emerge. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep looking beyond appearances. Because history often hides its greatest secrets in the places few people think to search. I'll see you in the next mystery.